All right. Well, I'd like to welcome you to ClickBid. And in this tutorial, we're going to talk about the Salesforce updated integration. And let's just dig in. So I'm on the integrations dashboard page, and you can see here that Salesforce is listed, and I'm going to go ahead and press connect. So there's a couple things in the short term that we're going to do is we are working on a app in the Salesforce App Exchange. And until that is approved, you have to manually install it from ClickBit. Once approved, you'll be able to get access to it and connect to it right from the App Exchange. And for now, you would just click on this. It will ask you to log in, and then it is going to ask you to install the ClickBid Connect. And it is I'm going to install it for all users. And I acknowledge that I am installing a non-Salesforce application. This is the we are working on it portion. So you just go ahead and press install and it will give access. Now, what's happening here is that it is installing some custom objects is really all that it's doing. We have ClickBid attendee and ClickBid event custom objects that when sales are pushed back to Salesforce from ClickBid, you will actually get more metadata that you can use historically for historical reporting or AI, Agent Force, and so on to kind of help inform more about your donor information. All right. So once that has been installed, you can just go ahead and press on connect and it will allow access. So now that we're connected, you're going to see a Salesforce tab with some options. Let's start at the top and go to settings. Similar to our previous Salesforce integration, you have the ability to choose uh, campaigns. So I'm just going to choose the user conference. Why not? Let's just choose that. And we do now have the option to autosync. Autosync runs every 5 minutes and will push data from ClickBid to Salesforce. So it's a one-way push from ClickBid to Salesforce, things like ticket sales. If you create a new bidder, if you create and identify guests from your ticket page, ticket sales, auction purchases will be picked up every 5 minutes and sent to Salesforce automatically. This is really good for things like peer-to-peer campaigns and ticket sales. So the default mapping of the email and the phone, I'm going to choose mobile. And then a default source. Let's just do other and a purpose. We're just going to call it new customer since this is a standard Salesforce developer account. Now, this attendee data um, and event data, this is something you're going to wait until the end of your event. So once the event is over, you can go ahead and push all of that data to those custom objects like I had mentioned. Under advanced, you can detect packages. Looks like here we've already installed them. So this is a great way just to make sure that we have everything set up properly. And then typically you would never need to get into the advanced. This would be something if we got into some troubleshooting, we could take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at data mappings. This is kind of a more traditional, what we've had in the past, where if you have a custom field created in Salesforce at the donor level or the donation level, you can go ahead and add those. So I can do an opportunity or a bidder contact, and then I can choose any one of these fields and I can then map it to one of these ClickBid data fields. So I'm gonna hit cancel. I don't want to map anything now. What I'm excited about with this new update is it's going to add the ability to push all of that data to a custom field and or custom object, and we're going to see how that works. So now remember, I had chosen a campaign. What it's going to do is it's going to list anybody associated with a user conference campaign, which there isn't anyone yet a link to it. So we're going to hang on to that. And then I can export bidders. In my account, I have a handful of bidders in the system that I can now export if I want to. And I can also, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's do Poly Black, and I am going to add a new contact and export. Great. It's going to export that. It says bidder data will be sent to Salesforce in the next 5 minutes, and it will push that data shortly. So let's just come back to that. We're going to wait for that 5 minutes to happen. So under export guests, you can also, in the ticketing system, I can send any one of these guests to Salesforce. So Bob, testing ticks. You can tell we're doing a lot of testing here. Notice this one is grayed out because we do not have an email address or a phone number. So only until we get something to contact them with do we want you to send this data to Salesforce. So let's go ahead and, oh, we can choose a campaign. It defaults to the user campaign that we've selected in the settings page. So now this is going to happen in the next 5 minutes. And you can see here, actually, this one happened right away. So now we have a contact ID. So let's go ahead and take a look at testing ticks. And you'll see here, um, he's attached to a campaign and nothing yet has been sent over. And we can see here that we have an attendee record and a transaction record. So notice here, he is attending an event and he has no purchases yet. Actually, let's finish up here under export sales. Every sale, whether it's a ticket purchase, an online donation, or an auction purchase, will show up here. So Bob testing ticks. Notice I have the matches here. So let's take each of these and push them to Salesforce. So we're going to push an individual ticket purchase of $200 and a cash donation of $100. So let's just choose export. And again, we're going to leave these defaulted. We do give the option. So for instance, if you're sending ticket sales to one campaign and you're sending auction purchases to another campaign, we'll let you switch those at the time of export, but we do default to what your settings have set. So let's go ahead. Again, this will happen over the next 5 minutes. Sometimes it happens immediately. Looks like in this case it did was check mark here. So that means it's completed. So now let's just refresh Bob testing ticks. So we do see here now in the opportunities, as we've always done, we're pushing you the individual ticket purchase for $200 and the cash donation for $100. In addition, if you come down here to ClickBid transactions, again, these are the historical data points that we're going to be giving all of your contact records. So let's go to individual tickets. And you can see here that we have a bunch of metadata. If there was a fair market value, the quantity that you purchased, how much the total purchase amount was, uh, individual ticket that you purchased, and this was what it was named. It didn't have an item number because it's a ticket. This is the order ID. So if you ever need to go back and ask, for any kind of reference, you can go back into ClickBid and you can look for any of these transactions. And again, it's related to this ClickBid event. So this is also a custom object. I believe if I go to campaigns, this always throws me. So let's go ahead and all active campaigns. Let's go to user conference. That was the one that I had picked. And if I scroll down here, there are ClickBid events associated with that. So again, this is going to get updated over time. We want to make sure that here we have a number of bidders. We have 19, number of attendees, 5, and so on. So this is going to get updated over time as you get more data and you're exporting more data. All right, let's jump back here. And let's end with activity log. Activity log makes sure that everything that you do in ClickBid when being pushed or pulled from an integration like Salesforce is saved in the activity log. If you ever have any questions to ask us, you can go ahead and choose that. Take a look at the activity log is available for you. All right. And with that, that is our Salesforce integration. If you have any questions, please always let us know and we are happy to help.